It is Wednesday, the 10th day of January 2023. Hello and welcome to the News International Edition. We're coming to you live from our Vision Group headquarters here in Kampala, Uganda. I am Emma Akwero. We start today from South Korea, where Parliament has passed a bill banning breeding, slaughtering and selling of dogs for their meat, a traditional practice that activists have called an embarrassment for the country. Dog meat has been long part of it South Korean cuisine, and at one point 1.2 million dogs were killed for the trade every year, according to activists. But consumption has sharply declined recently as Koreans embrace pet ownership in droves. We have details of this.
Eating dog meat is a taboo among younger urban South Koreans, and a pressure on the government to outlaw the practice from animal rights activists has been mounting. Official support for a ban has grown under President Yoon Suk Yeol, a self-professed animal lover who has adopted several stray dogs and cats with First Lady Kim Kyun-hee, who is herself a vocal critic of dog meat consumption. The bill, which was proposed by both the ruling and main opposition parties, was passed unopposed by a 208-0 vote with 2 abstentions. It will come into effect following a 3-year grace period after it receives final approval from Yoon. Under the law, breeding, selling and slaughtering dogs for their meat will be punishable by up to 3 years in prison or 30 million won, which is $23,000 in fines.
네, 오늘은 말 그대로 대한민국 동물보호 역사에 큰 획을 그은 날입니다.
Now there is no longer any justification for being criticized as a dog-eating country. The ruling and opposition parties and the government must now take the lead in protecting animal rights. Activists and some lawmakers gathered outside the National Assembly to celebrate the passing of the bill, with people cheering and waving posters saying goodbye dog meat consumption and dog meat-free Korea is coming. Activists also welcomed the bill, saying it was history in the making. In a survey, Seoul-based think tank Animal Welfare Awareness, Research and Education, 9 out of 10 people in South Korea said they would not eat dog meat in the future. Tuesday's vote was a pioneering decision globally, said activist group Animal Liberation Wave, adding it would pave the way for protecting the rights of other animals. Previous efforts to ban dog meat have run into fierce opposition from farmers who breed dogs for consumption. The new law will provide compensation so that businesses can move out of the trade. Around 1,100 dog farm breeds hundreds of thousands of dogs each year that are served in restaurants across the country, according to the government figures. Dog meat is usually eaten in South Korea as a summertime delicacy, with the greasy red meat invariably boiled for tenderness, believed to increase energy to help handle the heat. The country's current animal protection law is intended mainly to prevent the cruel slaughter of dogs and cats, but does not ban consumption itself. Nonetheless, authorities have invoked the law and other hygiene regulations to crack down on dog farms and restaurants ahead of international events such as the 2018 Pyeongchang Olympics.
Now, under a checkered marquee dazzling with chandeliers, 122 Hindu couples unable to afford their own weddings were instead married in a mass ceremony in Muslim-majority Pakistan. In the southern mega city of Karachi, the joint nuptials were a riot of celebration in defiance of poverty and persecution.
I am getting married here because my parents are poor. They cannot afford the wedding expenses. I wish that everyone could get married here. Weddings are a costly affair in Pakistan, where the bride's male relatives are also often expected to pay a dowry to the groom's family, with the expense delaying the marriage of women. The nation is clawing its way out of a financial crisis, and rights monitors have long warned that marginalized Hindus suffer some of the worst socio-economic discrimination in Pakistan. The Pakistan Hindu Council, which hosted the ceremony, says there are 8 million Hindus among the 240 million people living in Pakistan, according to last year's census. Rights groups say Hindu women are sometimes subjected to forced conversion to Islam through marriage. Last January, UN experts said there was a reported rise in girls as young as 13 being kidnapped from their families, trafficked to locations far from their homes, made to marry men sometimes twice their age, and coerced to convert to Islam. Shiva Kachi, a Hindu activist, said he spoke with more than 170 families who said their daughters were forcibly converted in 2022. Police, however, have said that the girls eloped with affluent Muslim men to evade poverty.
Now, away from Pakistan, a mother of a Filipino drug trafficker on death row in Indonesia has begged the country's president to free her daughter. The plea came a day after the Philippines made a fresh appeal for clemency for Mary Jane Veloso, who was arrested in Indonesia in 2010 carrying a suitcase lined with 2.6 kilograms of heroin and later sentenced to death. We have details of this.
A mother of two won a last-minute reprieve from the firing squad in 2015 after a woman suspected of recruiting her was arrested in the Philippines. Family and supporters of Veloso held a small protest near the presidential palace in Manila as Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos met with his Indonesian counterpart Joko Widodo. A letter written by Veloso's mother, Celia, and addressed to Widodo was hand-delivered to the palace by a lawyer representing the family. I am begging and pleading with you to help free my daughter, who has been suffering innocently for 14 years. Today is the 39th birthday of my daughter. I am hoping that she would be released. The letter reads, Veloso's supporters claim she went to Indonesia for a job as a maid and was duped by an international drug syndicate into carrying heroin. A separate letter from the family and addressed to Marcos said, you are our only hope. Neither Marcos nor Widodo mentioned Veloso's case in their prepared remarks delivered to the media after their meeting. It is not clear if she was discussed during their talks or if Widodo received the letter. Widodo is set to leave office in October after reaching the end of a 2-term limit. On Tuesday, Philippine Foreign Secretary Enrique Manalo said he had renewed the appeal for clemency during a meeting with his Indonesian counterpart, Retno Marsudi. Manalo previously sought clemency for Veloso in 2022.
Now, a succession of high and low drums from the Nigerian musician's drum is a kind of telegram that today few people will understand its message. Each beat is a syllable in the Hausa language, but the advanced age of players of traditional instruments such as the molu, a type of lute, or the kalogu, an elongated drum, raises fears that the know-how will soon die out. A lack of money hinders conservation efforts in one of the world's poorest countries. 70% of Nigeria's population is even under the age of 25.
Le petit que s'appelle Kazagi. Ça c'est le bois. Ça c'est le pot de chèvre. C'est moi qui ai arrangé, ça s'appelle Tumba. Wani projet da aka buɗa na Espanya. Muna tare da wata ana ce mata Banisa, ita ma mutum na Espanya ta zo da muka yi aiki na shekara guda. Ta duba ta ganin kayan nan suna ɗaukar zagi da yawa, sai ta sa aka yi wancan aiki. Da ta sa aka yi wancan aiki sabon musée da aka yi. Sai aka hidda kayan nan duka sai aka bi haka ci tsohon musée zama na yake. Shi na zama in gyara kayana ciki kuma in tura matasa in koya musu. Tu prends après il y en a un qui tire comme ça jusqu'à tu as entendu.
problème, il y a manque de moyens. Deuxièmement, il y a manque les sociétés qui regardent les musiciens pas comme les autres. Et des fois, les religions empêchent de musique s'évoluer parce que
gaskiya ci gaba ne don yanzu misali an koya muna mun yi koda gumi abubuwan koda gumi dai guda mun ka yi inda mun ka sai da shi mun san da za mu samu riba kaga ban ma
Very beautiful sounds there indeed. And finally, on a lighter note, American actress Angela Bassett, who played Tina Turner in the biopic What's Love Got to Do with It, and Queen Ramonda in the Marvel blockbuster movie Black Panther, was awarded an honorary Oscars at the star-studded Governors Awards in Hollywood. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, maybe one or I'm always I am always.
Pas un enjeu pour le film dans le sens, voilà, il n'y a pas de prix quanti, mais on est là heureux d'être là.
En français, ça s'appelle quoi en français?
Pauvre créature.
Pauvre créature.
Pas mal, hein?
Yeah, I love doing this character. I love playing this character. I am really happy with the film. And
I have a feeling that a hurricane's coming in.
As significant and as moving, as important as the movie that we just watched. And to me,
I think that's what resonates is, you know, people are able to relate and understand. It's easy to watch. I'm not but I felt like there was an opportunity.
At the Governor's Awards, inside one of Hollywood's.
We work on ourselves. We know ourselves. We know what feels right. We know what gives us peace. We know when inside something's sort of agitating us because it's like, no, and then we say, no, I'll make it work. I'll make it work. And then we always say, I knew I shouldn't have done that, or I knew I should have. It's your instinct, you know. Kids, never push away or deny your instinct. It's there to save you. Sometimes it's just there to save you and to tell you what direction you should go.
And so the conversations on the board meeting about who would get these awards tonight, Mel Brooks, Michelle Satter, incredible, and of course Angela Bassett. These are titans in our industry who've changed the way we think about the work that we do, and so I'm thrilled to be able to celebrate her tonight.
Congratulations to Angela Bassett right there. And that's all the international news we had for you this afternoon. We'll be back again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Thank you for watching. Have a good afternoon.